week, and that is the remake of 2008's Dead Space, done by Motive Studios. Of course, Dead Space is now back after being absent for a decade. Yes, Dead Space 3 came out all the way back in 2013, but now we have a rebuilding of the very first Dead Space. It's being designed for next-generation platforms in mind. No PlayStation 4 release will be had for Dead Space, so keep that in mind as well. Visually, the game looks stunning. We already know from a performance standpoint the game is going to be running really well, and the sci-fi survival horror classic returns completely rebuilt to offer an even more immersive experience, including visual, audio, and gameplay improvements while staying faithful to the original game's thrilling vision, and that is very important. This is going to be a game that does honor the original game. However, it is going to be expanding some elements. It's going to be adding some lore pieces, so it ties in overall to the Dead Space universe a little bit cleaner, and I think that is ultimately going to be something people really do appreciate. It's fully rebuilt from the ground up with elevated visual fidelity and 3D atmospheric audio, from the frighteningly detailed rooms and workspaces of a slaughtered crew to the eerie atmospheric sounds of a desperate spaceship. You'll explore a stunning sci-fi setting full of unpredictable and tense moments without interruption. Unravel the mystery aboard the USG Ishimura. What starts as a routine repair mission for the engineer Isaac Clarke and the crew of the USG Kellyan quickly turns into a battle for survival as the truth behind the horrors on board begins to unravel. Obviously, you're gonna confront the nightmarish necromorphs, and there's going to be some gruesome kills and a lot of emphasis on an engrossing and atmospheric horror experience. Many of you probably have already played the Dead Space game that released back in 2008, the original that was received so well, and if you never have, man, you are in for an absolute treat with what Dead Space is. I get it, it's a $70 game, and it's a game that's not going to offer you a sizable amount of content, but I think the playthrough that you're going to get out of Dead Space, sometimes quality over quantity, and I think that's exactly what you're going to get here. And by the way, it is a game that I think you're going to play through once and down the line, because it is going to be such a good game. If they nail this remake, you're going to go back and play through it another time. So ultimately, I think the replayability is going to be there as well. Dead Space Remake is going to hit PS5 on January 27th. Next up, we have a major free upgrade along with a free update. World War Z Aftermath coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series on January the 24th. Now, the PlayStation 5 version will be running in 4K resolution at 60 frames per second. On top of that, Horde Mode XL will be a next-generation exclusive feature, Horde Mode, but among normal waves of enemies, there will be special XL wave with over 1,000 zombies. Yeah, let's keep that on next gen, and let's not even try to run that on the PlayStation 4. Aftermath is the ultimate co-op zombie shooter and the next evolution of the original hit World War Z that has now captivated over 15 million players, played off hordes of ravenous zombies in intense story episodes across new zombie-ravaged locations around the world. The game has seen a really solid reception across the board, and obviously with a co-op emphasis, might be a game you do want to grab a couple buddies and jump in together, but a game that is a lot of fun, a lot of replayability is going to be had, and it's going to run better than ever on the PS5. And on top of that, Horde Mode XL is going to be a nice new layer added to the game. And best of all, free upgrade from the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 5 version of the game, so you'll be able to check it out. Again, grab a couple buddies, and you're going to have a great time with that one. Next up, here's a game that's very much been in the news cycle. A little bit of uncertainty, skepticism regarding the game, but Forspoken is going to be launching on January the 24th. A massive open-world action RPG coming from Luminous Productions and Square Enix. Forspoken follows the journey of Frey Holland, a young New Yorker transported to the beautiful and cruel land of Athea. In search of a way home, Frey must use her newfound magical abilities to traverse sprawling landscapes and battle monstrous creatures. Obviously, I say it over and over again when I talk about Forspoken. Download the demo, play it, and see how you like it. I get it that there's been some talk that the demo was a little bit of a dated version of the game. However, it's gonna give you a good idea of the style of gameplay that they're gonna go for, the performance, and the expectations from a visual standpoint. You can expect a little bit of differences in the final game, but ultimately, the demo is gonna give you a good idea. And once again, this is a $70 game, so you wanna make sure that it's a game that you're gonna enjoy, because the gameplay is incredibly unique. Alternating between these different magical abilities, the parkour emphasis gameplay. I thought the demo parkour gameplay worked really well, and that's probably the element I enjoyed the most. Some of the gameplay elements I think are going to take a little bit of getting used to. The dialogue between Frey and Cuff I'm not completely sold on, but hopefully overall the narrative is going to be something that's compelling that you are going to be getting into. Lead Frey on an unforgettable journey in her search of a way home after being mysteriously transported to a breathtaking, fantastical land. Unravel the mysteries of Athea as Frey travels through the calamitous break and discovers how to wield an immense power. A beautiful and cruel open world, a striking land of remarkable vistas and otherworldly creatures brought to life through stunning graphics and cutting-edge technology, venture deep into corrupted territories where a mysterious dark defies everything it touches. Customizable arsenal of spells take on twisted monsters and magical combat with a wide range of powerful abilities catering to a variety of playstyles from fast-paced and exhilarating to strategic and methodical and intuitive magic-enhanced parkour. And again, the parkour gameplay absolutely at the heart of Forspoken, and I think exploration is going to be an element people do end up enjoying. We'll see how the reception is for the game, as it seems like some people are super excited, other people not as much. Forspoken will officially be dropping on January 24th. Next up, we have a throwback RPG making its way over to the PS4, and that is Risen. Risen is a game that came out years and years ago, all the way back in 2009. The island needs a new hero, and that is you. Delve into a gritty, raw, and atmospheric fantasy world in which every action has a consequence, and the epic world of Risen filled with a mysterious earthquake, fearsome monsters, and unimaginable treasures. Forge your path with sword, learn the art of the staff, and so much more in a open world action RPG. Obviously, the game is going to be refined and upgraded for its PlayStation 4 release, so there's going to be a lot to get into with this one, and a relatively expansive experience. It's going to be released at a budget price point as well, so it's not like you're going to have to break the bank picking up Risen. Risen is scheduled for its PS4 release on January 24th. Next up, we're going into Norse mythology with Atone, Heart of the Elder Tree. Atone is a Norse mythology-inspired hand-drawn game that blends interactive storytelling and complex puzzles with a rhythm game combat system inherent the role of a young warrior named Estra as she journeys through Midgard to unveil the truth behind her father's death. Incredible visual design, just a unique style in that regard. You've got puzzles, you've got an interactive story, an interesting combat system, and a huge emphasis on music as well. Music and sound design are at the heart of the game. It blends a synth-heavy score with the digitally corrupted sounds of periodic specific instruments, and then you can expect some interesting gameplay as well. Combat is a delicate dance of sword and axe. Combat is grounded in the rhythm game genre and the mechanics of titles like Guitar Hero and Dance Dance Revolution. Music is a crucial component, with each receiving its very own song. Atone, Heart of the Elder Tree drops on January 27th. And lastly, we have a Wonder Boy Anniversary Collection dropping on January 26th. It includes 21 versions of 6 different games. The collection notes featuring 21 versions of 6 of the most iconic Wonder Boy games ever released. The incredible compilation brings the influential platformer series to today's hardware. Through the 1980s and 90s, the Wonder Boy series gained a vast cult following thanks to its distinct blend of energetic platforming, action RPG elements, and even shoot-'em-up gameplay. And now you can enjoy a diverse spread of the Wonder Boy games that have left a powerful legacy throughout gaming, from the 86 arcade original to 94's Monster World 4. Wonder Boy Anniversary Collection brings the series up to date with precise ports for today's hardware and new features such as the ability to rewind your game at any moment. A nice addition there. An unrivaled Wonder Boy collection for true retro gamers. Every title expertly ported to modern consoles with extended features like filter, shader, the rewind option, and an art gallery, and one of the most unique, important platformers of the 80s and 90s. Definitely a throwback, but the entirety of the collection will be dropping on January 26th. Physical editions will be available at strictly limited games, so you can check that out as well if you are interested. And that is going to do it for me. Again, loaded week of new game releases. Dead Space, Forspoken, 2 massive releases that people have been looking forward to for over a year at this point. And Forspoken was revealed as Project Athia, I believe, when the PlayStation 5 was revealed initially. Dead Space Remake, huge game. Forspoken, notable game there. We got the World War Z upgrade. That's going to be a big upgrade as well. A free upgrade on top of that. World War Z Aftermath as well. A classic RPG making its way to the PS4. Atone, Heart of the Elder Tree, a lower-key Norse mythology title, but that